I made this beautiful cardigan to fit to a chest size of 32 inches. Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you all are doing well. Let's see what materials are needed to make this cardigan. You will need blue and white yarn, 3 mm knitting needles. I'm using circular needles just because my straight needles are occupied in some other project, and you can absolutely use straight needles for this project. And you will need stitch holder, you will need a scissor, sewing needle and a measuring tape. So with these materials we'll start our work. Cast on 117 stitches with color 1 or yarn A and knit all the stitches for row 1. Knit all the 117 stitches. Going to row 2, I have cut the first color, yarn A I have cut. Now I will be using yarn B, which is white color. We are making a garter stitch border. Now for round 2, start making knit stitches with white color. As we are making a garter stitch border, we will knit all the stitches for the next 6 rows. Next 6 rows I am going to knit all the stitches with color B or white color. After completing 6 rows of knit stitches with yarn B, we'll again go back to yarn A and make 2 more rows of knit stitches. Totally this is a 9 rows of garter stitch border. Continue to make 2 more rows of knit stitches with yarn A. 2 rows of knit stitches with yarn A is done. I have cut the yarn A and again I have taken yarn B. Now we will start with the design pattern. For the design pattern, row 1 is to knit all the stitches. This is the right side. Knit all the stitches. Row 2 of design pattern, this is on the wrong side. Purl all the stitches. After completing 2 rows of design pattern, next is row 3, which will be made similar to row 1, and row 4 will be made similar to row 2. That is, for row 3 you will be making knit stitches and for row 4 you will be making purl stitches. After completing rows 3 and 4, this is the fifth row of design pattern. Knit 2 in yarn B. Now third knit will be with yarn A. Third one. Now fourth yarn B, next yarn A. Next stitch in yarn B, next yarn A. In this row you will knit one with yarn B and knit next with yarn A. One with A, one with B, one with A, one with B. So this will continue for this row. Next stitch with white color, next with blue, white and blue, white and blue. This will continue for the entire round. One stitch with white color and one with blue color. Continue this for the rest of the stitches and I'll meet you at the end of this row. When last 2 stitches are remaining, make knit with yarn B. So for this row, last 2 stitches and first 2 stitches will always be with white. Only in the middle you will be alternating. Now next row, row number 6, we will cut off this first color, yarn A, and row 6 will be purl all. Purl all the stitches of row 6, knit all the stitches of row 7, purl all the stitches of row 8, knit all the stitches of row 9. Basically from row 6 to row 9 we are following a stockinette pattern, and for row 10 we will make the design pattern. 10th row, which is the purl side or the wrong side, begin by making purl 2, 1 and 2. First two pearls are with yarn B. The third pearl will be with yarn A. Next, purl 1 with yarn B. Next, purl 1 with yarn A. This is similar to what we did in round 5. There we knitted, here we are purling. Again we will be repeating alternate pearls with different color. One pearl will be with white, one pearl will be with blue, and this will continue for this whole round. After this round you will be continuing just these 10 rows. Repeat these 10 rows until the work measures 14.5 inches. On the 5th row you will get the pattern on the right side. On the 10th row you will get the pattern on the wrong side. You will just be repeating these 10 rows for the next 14 inches, including the garter stitch border. Right from the beginning, continue till the work measures 14.5 inches. So this is the end of 10th row. So this is how the design will grow now. Once you will be making this pattern on 5th row and once on the 10th row. And you will just be repeating these 10 rows until 14.5 inches. 14.5 inches of the work is done, and look at the beauty of this pattern. It looks so beautiful. You can choose any two contrasting colors and it will just work wonders. So to continue with the pattern, now it is time to shape the armholes. For that, first you have to come to the right side of your work. If you are on the wrong side, just make one more row and come to the right side. This is the right side, and here I'll begin by casting off 9 stitches loosely. Cast off 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. This is the right side, and cast off knitwise here. After casting off 9 stitches, continue with the pattern, that is, knit all the stitches till the end. After completing this row, on the wrong side, again you have to begin by casting off 9 stitches. This is the wrong side, and you have to cast off purl wise. Cast off 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. After casting off 9 stitches, continue the pattern and purl all the stitches. Next row, right side. We will begin by making a knit 2 together. at the beginning and continue with the pattern, just making knit stitches. Knit all the stitches until you have a few stitches left at the end. Coming to the end of this row, last 2 stitches, and again make a knit 2 together. Going to the next row. So here I have to make the design pattern. Now begin the next row again by making a purl 2 together and continue with the pattern. So here I have to change my color, but I'll skip 2 stitches and then I will change. At this point I will change the color. So continue with the pattern until you have a last few stitches left again. When you reach to the end of the row, finish the row by making a purl 2 together and going to the next row. You have to continue the same thing, that is making a knit 2 together at the beginning and making knit 2 together at the end of the row. And again when you go to the wrong side, making a purl 2 together at the beginning and purl 2 together at the end. This we have to do for a total of 5 times. We have done 2 times now. For the first time we did it on the right side by starting our row with a knit 2 together. Now we just made another row with a purl 2 together. So 2 times is done. You have to continue the same for 3 more times. Decrease 1 stitch at the beginning and 1 stitch at the end. 3 more times. Starting with knit 2 together, and I will end the row with knit 2 together again. For the next row I will begin by purl 2 together and I will end by purl 2 together, and one more row, the last row of decrease, that is starting with knit 2 together and ending with knit 2 together. Complete the next 3 rows. I have completed decreasing the stitches for 5 rows. Now I am on the wrong side. This is the wrong side, and on this row we will not decrease any stitches. We will just complete this row by making purls. Purl all the stitches. Coming to the right side, at this point we have 89 stitches. Now for the beginning of this row we will reduce a stitch, that is we will make a knit 2 together and continue with the pattern. So this is the row where I have to start making these patterns. Continue with the pattern until you have a last few stitches left. At the end of this row, again make a knit 2 together. Now next, on the wrong side, you are not decreasing any stitch. Again when you come to the right side, you will repeat the same, that is making a knit 2 together at the beginning and knit 2 together at the end. And this you will continue until you have 83 stitches left. We had 89 stitches in the beginning of this row, now we have 87. For the next knit row, that is after the next decrease row, you will have 85. Then on the next decrease row on the right side you will have 83 stitches. So until that you have to continue. 2 more knit rows are the decrease rows and no decreasing on the wrong side. On the wrong side you will just purl all the stitches. So continue for the next 2 decrease rows. Now I have 83 stitches left on my needle, and after this point we are not reducing now. You can see the shape of the armhole. On both the sides it has come very neat. From now you are just going to continue with the design pattern till you get 54 centimeters in total or 20.5 inches, and that measurement you're going to take from the beginning, that is from the cast on edge. Your work should measure 54 centimeters or 20.5 inches. Continue with the pattern. My work measures 20.5 inches from the beginning now. Now we will start to shape the shoulders. I'm on the right side of my work, and to begin to shape the shoulders, I'll first cast off 8 stitches. Casting off first stitch, 1, and 8 stitch. So I have cast off 8 stitches. Now I will continue with the pattern. Continue with the pattern and complete the row by making knit stitches till the end. Coming to the end of this round, and I'm not continuing with the design pattern for last 8 stitches because I have to again cast off 8 stitches from the wrong side, and it doesn't look good casting off stitches with a different color. So you can skip making the design with a different color for such rounds. And completed this round. Now going to the next round. Here again we will cast off first 8 stitches just as we did on the right side. Similarly we will cast off first 8 stitches here, casting off purl wise. And 8. So after casting off 8 stitches, I'll continue to purl all the stitches till the end. After making this row, we have to repeat the same 2 rows once again. That is, once again we have to cast off 8 stitches from the knit side when we go to the next right side row, and again we will cast off 8 stitches on the next wrong side. That is, again after this, the next purl row we will cast off the next 8 stitches. So continue the next 2 rows and then we will see the further decrease. Completed casting of 8 stitches 2 times on both the sides. Now for the next row, begin by casting off 7 stitches. This is the right side. Cast off 7 stitches in the beginning. This is a knit 2 together. 1, 2, 7. After casting off 7, continue to knit all the stitches till the end. Going to the next row on the wrong side. Even here we will begin by casting off 7 stitches purl wise and 7. Now continue to purl all the stitches on the needle. After completing this row, when you come to the right side, you don't have to knit any more rows. This is the end of the back part. Now you can cut this yarn, leave tail, and transfer all the stitches on the stitch holder. At this point you should have 37 stitches on your needle, which will be transferred on a stitch holder. And this is done. The back part of the sweater is done. You can see the shaping of the armhole and the shoulders. It is very neat, and this neatness will help us while we join the front parts to this back part. This is very necessary and very important step while knitting a sweater. So the back portion is done now. We will start with the left and right fronts.